Hello again, Marek here. Today about my second favorite team, the San Jose Sharks. I've been a fan of Sharks for a quarter of a century, and right now they are in a schizophrenic, miserable state with probably no way out. In the previous decade, the Sharks brought me a lot of joy. Two Pacific Division titles, conference finals, one, two, three, Stanley Cup finals, really good players, a lot of good things to watch. Their last deep run was in 2019, where they eventually lost to the later champions, the St. Louis Blues, and since then, things have gone wrong. In the last season, they finished 12th in the West, 22nd overall. Definitely not good. Until the All-Star break, they looked like a team that could put up a fight for a wild card spot. In the end, they didn't. The All-Star break simply broke them. 264 goals against, that's not so good. 21st overall. But what is really, really alarming, 214 goals for, 30th overall, which is also reflected in the production or productivity table on the right. First spots, not so bad. Later on, oh, dismal. Nobody is surprised that Timo Meier, Tomáš Hertl, and Logan Couture occupy the top spots. But what about later on? Meh. The thing is that there is a general consensus that it's high time for the Sharks to go through a rebuild. But a rebuild, there's a catch. Well-paid, experienced veterans don't like rebuilds. No wonder. If they haven't won the Stanley Cup yet, they really want to fight for it, especially when they're over 30 years old. So what are you going to do about such players? You want to give them the chance. But if you want to go through a rebuild, you need to do something about their contracts. Let's take a look at it this way. 5 top contracts in San Jose Sharks system sum up to $42 million of cap space. That's a lot. The sixth one is Timo Meier's, $6 million per year, and at the end of the next season, he's going to be a restricted free agent. With his performance so far, he's due for a raise. That's a lot of money. Tomáš Hertl, who recently signed a contract extension, and Timo Meier are, let's say, untouchables. I bet the Sharks want to do everything they can to keep those two. And what about Logan Couture? He's 33 with 5 years left in his contract. I can see a lot of trade potential here, but hey, he's the heart and soul of the team. Well, so was Joe Pavelski, Joe Thornton, and especially Patrick Marleau. Weren't they? So maybe you could move Logan Couture. But the issue is not with the forwards. Let's take a look at the contracts of the defensemen. I have always liked Erik Karlsson, his style of play, his energy. Even this last season, he produced 35 points in 50 games, which is kind of a bounce-back season for him, so the season was relatively good, not $11.5 million good. Would you like to trade Erik Karlsson as a San Jose Sharks manager? I would, but here's the problem. Nobody's going to take that contract. So Sharks would have to retain at least part of the salary. How much? $5.5 million? Imagine this. So you trade Erik Karlsson and you're going to pay him for 5 more years. He's not even on your roster. That doesn't sound good. And he doesn't want to go through a rebuild. Now imagine your favorite team, whichever it is. Would you like your team to trade for Karlsson and pay Karlsson $6 million per year for the next 5 years? You have to answer that question for yourselves. But Erik Karlsson is not the only issue, as much as I like him. Brent Burns, also a former Norris Trophy winner, just like Erik Karlsson, $8 million per year with 3 more years to go. When the contract expires, he will be 40. That's an unmovable contract. Marc-Edouard Vlasic, $7 million per year, 35 years of age, 4 years to go. He's going to be 39 when the contract expires. These are unmovable contracts, so what to do here? You can't move those players, but you need to move them for a rebuild. They are probably not interested in a rebuild, but if they stay in the current state, they're not going to be competitive. No perennial contender as they used to be. It seems that the San Jose Sharks are stuck in an extremely uncomfortable situation where they need a rebuild, but it seems from the outside that it's very difficult for them to even launch the rebuild. As a fan of the San Jose Sharks, I really hope they figure this out, but it's going to be very difficult. What are your thoughts on this? What do you think? Tell me in the comments, and I'm looking forward to talking to you again soon. Cheers!